Luxury used to mean handcrafted heritage and hella expensive. Now, it's looking more like clever outsourcing with a premium label slapped on top. Prices are still sky high, but the mystique is slipping, and not because Switzerland suddenly got sloppy. It's because the real work is happening in a city that most watch buyers can't even point to on a map. Welcome back to Opulent Oasis. Today we're cracking open the Rolex myth and tracing it all the way to a place that sounds more like a chipset factory than a luxury capital. Shenzhen, China, tech powerhouse by day, luxury watch ghostwriter by night. Industry folks say nearly 95% of the world's watches, from bargain beaters to bougie wrist candy, pass through here in some form. And no, not just sketchy knockoffs. We're talking bezels, dials, even movements ending up on watches that get displayed under glass and sold with champagne. Honestly, the same factory that made your uncle's Rolex might have also produced half the hardware in a legit Submariner. That Swiss-made label. Legally, it just needs some final touch-ups in Switzerland. Think of it like sending a frozen pizza to Naples for garnish. Technically Italian, right? That shiny Swiss-made on your watch. Might as well say, assembled with global confidence. Behind the scenes, Swiss brands have been outsourcing parts to Shenzhen, cases, dials, even movements, for years. Then they give it a Swiss finish, and boom, luxury label secured. Basically, it's the horology version of microwaving takeout and plating it like fine dining. The myth of pure Swiss craftsmanship is unraveling fast. Thanks to TikTok leaks and factory footage, buyers are realizing those exquisite parts often come from the same machines, the same workers, and the same Chinese factories making watches for everyone else. And here's the kicker, some of those parts, not fakes. Leftovers from real production runs that slip into the grey market and end up on replicas good enough to fool a Rolex dealer on a bad day. Hold up, still lurking without hitting that subscribe? Join the Opulent Oasis crew and stay ahead of the curve with all the watch tea, trends, and truths. Let's get back into it. The illusion of Swiss-made, a loophole, not a legacy. Here's the plot twist most people still don't see coming. Swiss-made doesn't actually mean your watch lived a full life in the Alps, sipping espresso by Lake Geneva. All it takes is 60% of the value, not the parts, not the labor, to come from Switzerland. So that shiny case, dial and bracelet. Odds are they put in long hours in a Shenzhen factory before getting flown to Switzerland for a quick assembly and a final polish, just enough to slap on that all-powerful Swiss stamp. It's like flying economy to Geneva and walking out with a first-class badge pinned to your chest. And this little trick, it's not new. This has been going on for decades, hidden in plain sight. Insiders say raising too many questions about where components really come from can get you shown the door fast. Some former employees even dropped proof, photos of vintage Swiss watches stuffed with Chinese parts, long before TikTok ever got involved. What makes this more frustrating is how well it works. Marketing has done such a flawless job that buyers still associate Swiss-made with craftsmanship, heritage, and exclusivity, when often it's just the final stop in a very global production line. Moral of the story. In the luxury world, the real product isn't always the watch. Sometimes it's just the story you're sold. Why the watch media won't talk about it. So why isn't the watch press blowing the whistle? Easy. Rolex pays the bills. Most blogs and influencers rely on brand cash, free gear, and invites to swanky events. Calling out the hand that sends you comped champagne in Geneva? Yeah, not happening. Turns out, it doesn't pair well with a sponsorship deal. That's why the truth's coming from the outsiders, leakers, TikTokers, and creators with nothing to lose. They're the ones exposing the smoke and mirrors, showing that Swiss luxury often starts in Chinese factories. When a viral video showed Rolex-style parts being boxed in Guangdong, the internet lit up. And just like that, Rolex quietly dropped prices up to 20% in some markets. A discount from the kings of artificial scarcity? That's not a coincidence. That's panic with a polish. Oh, and that $6,000 Rolex costs about $1,200 to make. The rest? Branding, baby. You're not just buying a watch, you're buying into a fantasy. And now, the fantasy's got a few dents. Replica? Homage? Welcome to the new grey market. The deeper we dig into the luxury watch scene, the clearer it gets. This isn't a market, it's a masquerade. Lurking behind the boutique gloss is a whole underground network of Telegram chats, WeChat sellers, and encrypted WhatsApp deals. And no, they're not peddling plastic knockoffs. These watches are built with real parts, same cases, same dials, same bracelets you'll find on the ones under showroom lights. The only thing missing, that little crown logo and a stamp of Swiss approval. It's like getting the same dessert as everyone else, just without the gold leaf and pretentious plating. What's wild is how the vocabulary's been remixed. Fake is out. Now it's factory homage, parallel build, or the fan favorite, same line release. It's marketing judo. Say it just right, and suddenly you're not buying a replica, you're investing in a stealth luxury experience. Apparently, slapping a thesaurus on a knockoff is the new brand strategy. And honestly, it begs the question, if the parts are legit and the build is solid, are we just paying thousands more for a name? That's what makes these parallel builds so tempting. You get 90% of the look without the financial trauma, and the big brands, they're sweating because the illusion of exclusivity only works when no one else figures out the trick. Turns out, prestige is harder to gatekeep when everyone has the same factory plug. But let's not act like everything's equal. There's one area where the pretenders fall flat: the movement. That's the heartbeat, the soul, the thing that separates a watch from glorified wrist jewelry. Cheap clones tick loud, lag behind, and crack under pressure, literally. From subpar alloys to fading lume, these things start to fall apart faster than a New Year's resolution. If your watch sounds like it's trying to cough out the time, it's not fooling anybody. Seasoned collectors spot fakes before you even shake their hand. The weight, the glide, the crisp snap of a crown, it's a vibe, not just a build. And once you've felt a real one, the imitations feel like karaoke, close, but never quite the same song. Wearing a fake to a collector meetup is like bringing boxed wine to a sommelier tasting. You will get side-eyed. At the core of all this, marketing. The industry sells more than watches. It sells a lifestyle, a myth, a carefully polished narrative of exclusivity. Swiss-made has become less about origin and more about optics. And honestly, the production line's starting to look more international than the Olympics. You're paying for heritage, sure, but also a heavy dose of performance art. Now, are Rolex and Omega still turning out beautiful high-quality pieces? Absolutely. But the growing grey market is forcing us to ask tougher questions. Is that five-figure price tag really about craftsmanship, or are we just funding the world's most stylish illusion? Because at the end of the day, the difference between a $500 homage and a $10,000 flex might not be the materials. It might just be the story you're wearing on your wrist. So next time you're tempted by a shiny Swiss timepiece, pause and ask yourself, are you paying for precision or just a really expensive bedtime story? Is that watch built to last or just built to impress? Stay curious, stay nosy, and don't let the logo do all the talking. Because sometimes the real flex isn't on your wrist. It's knowing exactly what you paid for. If you're into calling out the luxury smoke and mirrors, hit like, smash that subscribe, and scroll through the rest of Opulent Oasis. We've got plenty more where that came from. So what do you think? Timeless craftsmanship or high-end fairy tale? Drop your thoughts below. We're all ears and opinions.